story. This is Miracle Man 6 from the 90s. It is 2 stories, and the first one is very lacking, and that is the one on the cover. This cover art is by Simon Walterson. It's alright in it. And it is Cersei versus Wonder Woman, which is what that first story is. I think the series was cancelled after this issue. So our comic is broken up into 2 halves, and this first half is a fight. Cersei versus Wonder Woman, and that is a good pairing for a fight, and it has some real potential for fun. But this is just a very straightforward combat. It is silent for the whole thing, and I think fights like this are better when they are more intimate and tense, like where every single punch counts, where every hit is felt and it could end the fight. Whereas these are 2 super strong women, and I didn't have much concern for either of them in this fight. I'm not really feeling any of it, and it's paced quite badly. I think it just feels like a comic that they forgot the right words for. Like the way this fight is shown and progressed. It feels like a fight that there should be writing attached to and dialogue, rather than it all being silent and focused on the fighting. I theorise maybe it did have writing, and then they got the art back, and the writer and editor wrongly believed the art was strong enough to sell the fight itself, and any writing was redundant. I'm not sure I can describe or critique it very well, but the other thing is there is a modestly intriguing idea behind this. Cersei, she has come to Fairyland to learn from Wonder Woman and her fairy people about how to be a good warrior, queen, goddess person. Wonder Woman wins the fight, by the way. And then her and Cersei, they argue about willingness to kill an opponent. This stuff is far more interesting than the mediocre fighting sequence that preceded it. And I think there is some worth in this idea of Cersei living in Fairyland with Wonder Woman and trying to learn from her and her peoples, but I didn't think it gans anyway, since this book ended and then Cersei was on the Justice League. Second story, which actually stars Miracle Man, is about him defending a woman who has been abused by her husband. I really hope that the book isn't trying to do some juxtaposition here with a woman who gets beaten up against that first story where 2 women were beating each other up. Miracle Man runs some agency sort of thing where he tries to help people out, like he's ripping off Luke Cage's, and then this woman with a black eye shows up. Her husband has been beating her, and her husband is a wrestler, so Miracle Man gans to pay him a visit. Like the first story, it is very thin. That is what you get when you split a book into 2 shorter stories like this. So he fights the wrestler, and we have some comparative stuff where it is playing up Miracle Man's childhood, where he was abused by Granny Grunt and Darkseid, and it is contrasting that with this fella beating up his missus. Personally, I think they missed another trick in also highlighting that both Miracle Man and the wrestler, they have embarked on careers as showmen. Anyway, all domestic abuse ever is solved because Miracle Man, he cripples the guy forever by paralysing him in the arms so that he cannot hit a woman ever again. So the moral of the story is, don't hit your partner in case a Jack Quimby character shows up and makes you permanently disabled. We have got the letters here and the start of a new quest on this channel. I want to find a letter in a comic book written by someone who lives near me. And I got this idea because this issue gives us one that is sort of almost not really there. We have Jason from Leeds. Leeds is about 120 miles from me, but by American standards, that's pretty close, innit? Like, if you were in America and someone lived 120 miles away, that's not like the furthest away from you, is it? I've been to Leeds loads. I have had sex in Leeds. It wasn't very good. Both Leeds and the sex. Used to always gang by Leeds on the trains. The good old trains, remember them? Before they got privatised. That's me doing some observational comedy for the year 2024. When it is 2024, can you look back at this video and go, oh, he was on the money about the trains? So Leeds, that is winning this so far. It's not really near me. I would never say it in a million years. Yeah, I live next to Leeds, but it is a starting point, and who knows, it might be the closest we ever get. This was Miracle Man 6, and it wasn't very good, was it? It wasn't bad or half-arsed or crap. It was just not very good. The art was completely okay, the ideas were okay, it just didn't really do much of anything. So that's why I am giving this one a 7 thumbs up.